Where?
She like, I love not being oppressed and being able to do what I want to do and roam through society being free. What the fuck wrong with y'all?
Well, that's what the first chick said. She was like, I'm happy not to be quote unquote oppressed, but I'm not proud of the history.
African American.
So we talking about being proud of being white and how that skepticism they're starting to have towards that title of white, how they're starting to be reluctant to claim it. It's showing, like I said, a fall in a culture, in a society.
But also the term African American is becoming anybody who's black.
If you in today's society, as far as social media clout and being able to gain certain things in the industry and stuff, there's tiny bits of power or clout in being black right now.
Yeah. You have artists that have been intentionally dressed up in blackface to get attention.
So it's not necessarily a benefit to you as far as the society, the system.
What they call it, blackfishing?
Yeah, but there's clout in it.
So we had this discussion too before.
Yeah, we talked about this last.
Should an African be called African American?
But it's not just about Africans. It's what is an African American? We asked that question. Well, in 2004, this question was asked. As you can see here, for a moment, now this is called African American becomes a term for debate. This is 2004.
I'm gonna read the whole thing, is me.
You see here, for a moment, the Ethiopian-born activists seemed to melt into the crowd, blending into the sea of black professors, health experts, and community leaders considering how to educate blacks about the dangers of prostate cancer. But when he piped up to suggest focusing some attention on African immigrants, the dividing lines were promptly and pointedly drawn. To the focus of the campaign, the activist, I'm not to say that name, was told would be strictly on African Americans. I said, but I am African and I am American citizen. Am I not African American? Mr. Camus, who is an advocate for African immigrants here, recalling his sense of bewilderment, they said, no, not you. Now I'm going to scroll down to this right here. I wish we saw this in 2008. Man, oh man, how much different would stuff be? This month, the debate spilled into public view when Alan Keyes, the black Republican challenger for the Senate seat in Illinois, questioned whether Mr. Obama, the keynote speaker at the Democratic National Convention, should claim an African-American identity.
We never knew that.
Barack Obama claims an African-American heritage, Mr. Keyes said in the ABC program This Week with George Stephanopoulos. Barack Obama and I have the same race, that is physical characteristics. We're not from the same heritage. This is 2004. So this ain't new. People were already on this wavelength. Now maybe he was saying this stuff, this is Chicago. He like, look, man, I'm black American. He's his family an immigrant. Or his father
is Kenyan.
So he probably was like, I understand us more. Now, this is Republican. This is a Republican.
But see, back then, yeah.
Listen to how you worded this. My ancestors toiled in slavery in this country. This is Republican. My consciousness, who I am as a person, has been shaped by my struggles, deep emotional and deeply painful with the reality of that heritage. Some black Americans argue that black immigrants like Mr. Camus and the children of immigrants like Mr. Obama and Ms. Powell are most certainly African American. Mr. Obama and Mr. Powell often use that term when describing themselves. Yet, some immigrants and their children prefer to be called African or Nigerian American or Jamaican American.
That's what I said.
Depending on their country of origin. Other people prefer the term black, which seems to include everyone regardless of nationality.
That's not true.
So that was 2004. And we bring it up because obviously a lot of stuff been going on politically the last 4 years. And I want to show y'all something that took over. Absolutely took over. But first, we can go to this. We're gonna skip this. I'm gonna show it. There's been a lot of talk about reparations and who is who. So I found this video and they talk about reparations, and I want y'all to see some things they had to say.
in Swahili. I just want to welcome all of you today and thank all of you for coming out to the March for Reparations to African people. Oh.
But they had everything from black, trans, queer to I love Gaza.
Yeah.
That's the Palestinians, ain't it?
Yeah, they mix.
How does everything that is supposed to be about us revolves around everybody in the world?
And they're also socialists.
And they're also saying to African, we're not African. We're Americans.
Huh?
We're descendants of Americans. I mean, I don't understand. Who march for reparations for African people? You have to be Pacific who you talking to.
Well, it's almost comparable to if they said march for something for white people or Caucasian. You would say, well, what country? Is it German, Polish, Spanish?
This some goofy
Italian. Shit. Watch it.
Yourselves all a round of applause.
Yep.
I'm a descendant of settlers, and I believe in reparations in order to heal our nation. And we need to address racially based climate change in order to save our planet, in order to save this race. And we need to give reparations before we're going to be able to heal anything, including our planet.
Climate change, what do they have to do with? I thought it was global warming. Oh, it's no longer global warming. Now it's climate change. You see how when they talk about what we can't ever get anything just
it's just you gotta mix it in.
It's a melting pot when it comes to us. It's like they throw everything under the damn sun except for what they're supposed to be talking about. Her crocodile tears.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you. Your heart's in the right place. Damn.
At an anti-vax march.
Here we are, Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood.
People were catching hell.
Something is wrong with this reality. Because every opportunity and amenity I have has been at the expense of my black and brown brothers and sisters around the world. You owe money. If you don't give it, we're gonna come take it.
Coming to take it. And I've seen Prince take it, all right?
So
now look.
Move on.
While I was busy in Hollywood at the anti-vax rally, we sent our African study.
The African People's Socialist Party was putting forward the figure of $4.1 trillion in unpaid labor. It's really about we as white people confronting our privilege in this system. And not just confronting it ideologically, but confronting it actually by giving back.
Can I have $5?
Are you serious?
Yes.
You got change?
Actually, I don't. Sorry. I don't. Sorry.
Okay. Next time.
What is Palestine? But so he went around asking them for money, making a joke out of the situation. But what I found interesting was this was a socialist movement, and they're making sure they include Gaza, Palestine thing, trans, Black Lives Matter, everything has to be
global warm. I mean. Sorry, climate change. No longer global warming no more because it's fucking cold as hell.
So we bring all that up to show this. I didn't do that. Okay. We bring all that to show this.
This is what got black people hotter than damn fish grease.
U.S. in talks to pay hundreds of millions to families separated at the border.
Who chose to bring their ass over the water, through water, whatever, however they got here. They chose to bring their ass here. They didn't get taken away and brought here.
Government is considering payment of $450,000 per person affected by Trump administration's zero tolerance policy in 2018. So these lawsuits that's coming down, allegedly, some of them are from 2018.
How can you afford to give these people? They saying there's no way they could pay us because there's no way, but you can afford to give these people this amount of money?
It's only like they said there's only like 5,000 cases, but only 940 people have actually tried to claim it. So the Biden administration is in talks to offer immigrant families that were separated during the Trump administration's around $450,000 a person in compensation, according to the people familiar with the matter. As several agencies work to resolve lawsuits filed on behalf of the parents and children who said that the government subjected them to lasting psychological trauma. The U.S. Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and Health and Human Services are considering payments that could amount to close to $1 million a family. So the fight.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
What?
Didn't your parents put you through psychological damage where they decided to bring you through all that shit to get you here?
Okay, I'm about to make a point. Okay, these families, and we going with what they're selling. These people are in somewhere in Central America or South America. They join a caravan and get all the way up to the border. They get to the border. They deal with all the stuff to get to America to get with a better life, right? They said they were separated from their kids for months at a time, causing psychological trauma and all this other stuff.
That was their choice.
Hold on. Causing psychological trauma and stuff. And now they're suing for the stress. What do we say to back in the 60s and 50s when black families would move to a white neighborhood and deal with racism and cry foul?
That was different.
How was it different?
Because black families did not come from a different country to settle into a white neighborhood.
They came from another community.
But wait a minute.
Hold on. They came from another community.
But they chose to come here illegally.
They chose to go around people that didn't want them around them.
That's two different totally scenarios.
How?
Because they came here illegally.
But they went to a community that didn't want them.
We're not talking about black people.
No, I'm making a comparison.
You can't compare because it's two different things.
I'm just saying.
No, you can't. I'm not gonna try to let you sit here and play no fucking devil's advocate and advocate. No, there's two totally different scenarios. They chose to go through all that to get to America illegally. You should apply like everybody else does to come to the country. You can't just come to the fucking doorstep and say, I'm here, let me in. That's not how it works.
But why would you move around somebody that don't want you around them?
We've been asking black people that for how long now?
That's what I'm saying.
That's different though.
So, no, I'm saying that because when you made the point that they're saying they dealt with psychological trauma, I'm just talking about that part. Lasting psychological trauma.
That they chose.
They chose it too, didn't they? The black people who decided to move around those Caucasians that didn't want them around them, and they were terrorized by, their kids being throwing eggs at them while they're on their way to school, house getting painted, a cross and put in their yard.
They chose to go live around those white people.
That's what I'm saying.
Are they asking for payouts?
Some of them, yeah, ain't they?
Who?
Isn't that reparations?
No.
Isn't that reparations for segregation and all that stuff?
I don't recall anybody asking reparations for segregation. They're asking for reparations for slavery, redlining,
Jim Crow,
Jim Crow,
segregation.
Dude,
I'm just making a point that should you be able to sue for psychological trauma when
not
you chose
them,
to do
no.
it? All right, that's all I'm saying. Should you be able to sue for psychological trauma when you chose it? I'm not talking about.
It's a difference.
Hold on, I'm not talking about slavery.
No,
I'm not talking about Jim Crow. I'm not talking about redlining. I'm not talking about all this. I'm talking about just the people who wanted to go to them schools, the people who wanted to live in those neighborhoods. Can they cry foul?
It would be different if they were invited here, they came here and they willingly opened up the borders and said, yes, you come here. And then they started doing that to those people. Then that would be different. But you can't just come across the border illegally from Mexico, then say, oh, I'm seeking asylum. That's not how it works.
So you saying, wait, you said if they were invited here?
Yeah. They weren't invited here. They came here illegally.
So how did black people get here?
We were taken.
You were taken
and brought here.
So we didn't come here willingly. We weren't invited.
Yeah.
So you made the point. You said,
but white people didn't go get them and bring them here.
Okay. All right.
I don't understand what you're not understanding.
I'm making sure we flush this out completely. Because you got to understand these things, they're going to be compared, even though they shouldn't. When you just said right there, you weren't forced to come here, that's it right there. That's the difference in the argument. They weren't forced. They chose. You were forced to come to the country. You were forced to amalgamate to the culture.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So even though you didn't have to go to that community, you chose to go there. You were forced to try and integrate.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way you can get a better chance in society.
Yeah. And their argument is going to be we were forced to come here illegally because it's the only way we can get a better chance of living
You know,
a life without
what
poverty.
America is in their countries, destabilizing it. I'm pretty sure America is funding the cartel. Well, it's not pretty sure. The CIA and all that. We know they was down in Nicaragua and all this stuff. You know, Colombia, Brazil, CIA all up and through there. That's still Nazi colonies in Colombia, by the way.
America cannot afford to take on more immigrants.
What do you mean?
It doesn't help us to help other people.
What do you mean?
The more immigrants that come here, it's the more sucky it is for Black Americans.
What do you mean?
Meaning they take away opportunities.
What opportunities?
Jobs.
You think immigrants take jobs?
Yes, they do.
How they take them?
They're taking them because white people rather employ them than employ Black people.
Are they taking them, or are they choosing cheaper labor?
Well, we know they're choosing cheaper labor.
They're not taking it in.
They are taking it.
They're not taking it. They're being offered cheaper labor. They're working for cheaper labor.
However you want to phrase it, whatever word you want to use, whatever semantics you want to do what you got to do.
1 million in the family, though the final numbers could shift. The people familiar with the matter said most of the families that crossed the border illegally from Mexico seek asylum in the U.S. included one parent and one child. The people said many families would likely get smaller payouts depending on the circumstances. The people said the American Civil Liberties Union, which represents family in one of the lawsuits, has identified about 5,500 children separated at the border and over the course of the Trump administration. Citing figures provided by the government, the numbers of families eligible for the potential settlement is expected to be smaller. The people said, as government officials aren't sure how many will come forward, around 940 claims have so far been filed by the families. The people said the total potential payout could be $1 billion or more.
They rather give it all up and tear this shit up before they give it to us.
They ain't giving it to you. And the crazy part is they're gonna do it. I would not be surprised if they don't do it. But I want to go back. Let's go back to 2019, during the presidential debate, the Democratic debates, and the opinions of all these people on reparations for Black Americans. And you see here, this person said, this is Ja'Cory Arthur. Yeah, this is Joe Biden's response to a debate question about reparations for ADOS. Then 92% of Black America gave him their vote. If you're mad, do something about it. And what he's referring to as being mad is the U.S. is in talks to offer immigrant families separated the border in 2018, about $450,000. We know. So this was Biden's response to a question about reparations in the Democratic debates.
And on the longer term, look at reparations so that we can mend what has been broken.
Vice President Biden, do you support reparations?
Look, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the.
He was asked a question about reparations for Black Americans, and he immediately went to immigration.
We are not immigrants. Isn't that what Angela Rye called us to?
How dismissive is that to be asked about Black Americans?
And you talk about immigration.
Best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America.
What the fuck is he talking about? They talking about Black Americans. He brought up Latinos.
Hey, they always bring up Black and brown, so he just bringing up the brown part of it.
What? I think his brain was.
I think his brain was fucking up then too.
Oh, it was. How the hell did they say something about Black Americans and you go on a rant about Hispanics? How's that?
This is Joe.
And looking back, we already, we was never gonna vote for him. We were one of the people that was saying
we were one of the people that was up all night, just knowing that when we woke up the next morning, Dave was gonna be. I can't even say it.
Say it, but Biden, he said this, and they voted for him.
And we should invest in them. Everybody will benefit from it. Every single American. And you should get used to it. This is a nation of immigrants. That's who we are. That's why we're who we are. That's what makes us different, and we should invest in them.
Thank you, Mr. Biden. Senator Klobuchar, you had your hand up.
What? She's supposed to say, sir, you didn't answer the question.
That had nothing to do with the question.
He said, fuck black Americans. Latino Americans are the future. Fuck them niggas.
He literally said that.
And get used to it, black people. You're not going to be the front face for the Democratic Party. So black women, we're taking pressure off your back.
He literally said, Latinos are the future. We're not worried about black Americans.
Fuck these niggas. That's what he said.
Let me show y'all.
Oh, man.
This is a
So I'm not going to.
This is a montage put together by somebody I follow on Twitter. I think I follow him.
Here she go.
Let me show y'all the person. The credit goes to this person right here. Wayne, I don't know how to say that. This is the person who made this collage of videos.
He's a former pen.
This is what they
he's recovering.
Saying that this is what they think of black Americans.
I don't think America is a racist country.
America is not a racist country.
I agree with him on that. I don't think a racist country would have elected Barack Obama as president or Kamala Harris as vice president.
They ain't black.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
President Biden today signed the new COVID Hate Crimes Act. It had passed Congress with bipartisan support.
The measure addresses the spike in attacks against the Asian American and Pacific Islander community.
History will remember this day and this moment when our nation took action to combat hate. Thank you all.
See that part.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that.
They just show the George Floyd thing. But shout out to them. I thought that was really good. And that collage, they were responding.
Look at Eva Pitford
to the CBC.
Look at her.
Let me show you the reactions. Now keep in mind, Biden said that on stage. I want you to see the reactions of some of these black people who were celebrating the victory of
Joe
Biden. Look at this.
Just another dumb ass white boy.
As one nation.
Bye.
But joy cometh
Come
in the
on,
morning.
Joe!
We will get through this.
We gonna get through this together, y'all.
Together. As one.
These people had a sickness. I don't know what it was, but when Trump was in office, he was equally an asshole to everyone. He didn't single out nobody. He had a moment with everybody.
I'm gonna say this, and I really
niggas.
I'm not
prayed.
trying to
hold on. Niggas prayed to get a president that only shit on them.
I'm gonna say this
on everybody.
Black women particularly had a problem with Trump.
Oh, I'm not saying that. Hell no. There was a lot of that was a sickness black people had to deal with.
No, let me tell you why.
Trump
is
masculine.
He's straightforward. He's to the point. And I think the way that Trump operated and the way he acted reminded them of how it would be to have a black president.
You know, it's funny. They compared Trump to black men. Remember in the early 2020, when a lot of these pundits and these people that have been put in leadership over the black community, they made comments about Trump's rising numbers amongst black men. Said, "Oh, Trump reminds them of themselves. His misogyny, his toxicity, his toxic masculinity reminds black men of themselves. That's why they're going to vote for him." I don't think that's not the case.
That wasn't the case.
The reason why black men voted for Trump
was because he told you, listen, I'm going to say this. I'd rather have somebody who I know
gonna stab me in the chest
than
but I can see it coming.
So that's when I turn my
I
back.
can pivot versus somebody I know gonna stab
I don't want
my
somebody
back.
pissing on me and telling me it's raining.
Oh, you gonna use that? You gonna steal that quote? So yeah, it's a damn shame. Now I want to show.
Oh, they ain't doing. They invited white people. They got them doing a election slide out there too.
I'm going to show a little bit of a celebration they did when Biden. Let's show some more celebration. While you dancing in the streets, they giving you statues, George Floyd. They giving you street names,
but they giving
they giving you holidays for Juneteenth. They giving you a study. The HR 40 bill is a study for reparations.
The study hasn't even started yet.
They're giving you a study. They actually talking about real cash payments. They got actual legislation to protect Asians. They giving out. They really talking about real settlements for money for the people at the border. But you got a damn holiday. You got a statue. You got a street named after somebody. You got hip hop day or whatever it is. This is what they give you. These little trinkets. Look at this. The one right here in the front. If we had to put a APB on any of these people, the one who would be the most guilty, because she was enjoying herself way too much, is this one right here in the white. She was enjoying that dance. Look, watch this. Let's show people who tried. The man who tried. Now, was it the last hour? Did he jump in the last hour? Kinda.
Who, Ice Cube?
Yeah.
He came in like the last quarter.
Yeah. But he came in and said, how about let's not vote until they give us something? And he actually came at the perfect time when he had the most leverage. If he would have had full support from the black community, he would have so much leverage because it was the last couple months.
They were upset that he wanted to meet with Trump.
Yeah.
And Biden told him to wait.
Still after the election and still ain't met with him.
And still has not met with him.
They met with a little baby though.
Little baby?
Yeah.
About what?
I think they met with Cardi B. You know, they met with those type of people.
Oh, Cardi B was speaking on the behalf of the brown people?
I guess. Bernie Sanders met with her. That was the disrespect. The stripper. We know the disrespect that happened. But then there's Ice Cube.
She's not even black though. It's not even her being a scripper.
Are they gonna give him? They still not giving an apology. The people been saying that all day long across social media. We're not sure gonna get his apology, and people still saying never. He should have never thought about working with Trump. It's like,
are y'all serious?
You look, man. When you want to get stuff done, you work with people that are in power.
What? I don't understand. What is this vitriol they have towards Trump? It's just so strange.
Trump is the same person he was in the 90s, in the 2000s, when people were making videos, put him in it. When people would put him in their bars and hip hop. He's the same racist person then as he is now. The reason why people was ready to deal with him because he was an honest racist. He's an honest asshole.
There's nothing wrong with a person being for their people.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say Trump is for his people.
No, what do you do? Was he racist or was he prejudiced?
Wait, what?
I'm just saying.
Well,
did he come out?
His father, they did fight not allowing black people to live in their.
Maybe he didn't want black people in his building.
That's racist. That is racist. That's not prejudice. That's racist. That's actual power plus.
Well, why do I want to live in somebody's building that don't want me in his building?
Hold on. We just talked about the black people who decided to move to the white neighborhoods and deal with that.
And I said that for their ass too. Why would you want to live in a neighborhood that don't want you in that neighborhood? We say this to this day. Why do celebrities go and live in white neighborhoods?
Well, we don't say that. We say why do they get surprised at how their kids grow up when they grew up around these white people? How they can literally self-esteem and all this stuff.
They can literally build a gated community in their own community.
When they do that there's a lot of black.
They do that in Atlanta, I believe.
It's not just Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina.
You don't have to go live around white people.
It's black neighborhoods in every state. But let's see what some of the Ice Cube's point that he made.
Yo, what's up? This your homie Ice Cube. Here to talk to my black folks. You know, I just want to be straight up because there's a lot of messages going out about this election. First and foremost, anybody telling you that you gotta vote, that it's your duty, that you have to exercise the right, and that people died for you to vote. For one, people did die, but nobody walked out their house to go die for you to vote. They were killed by probably some racists that don't want to see us get anything. But I'm saying that to say this. Be skeptical of anybody telling you to vote and not telling you to ask for anything, or to tell you to just vote and not to get anything for your vote. That's not how it works.
Exactly. And it's funny because
Obama criticized the black community for that.
we did a video on that where he said we can't be tired. We can't, well, how he said, don't sacrifice good for perfect. That's the old saying they use. Like, no, how about get what you asked for?
Oh, or choosing between the lesser evils?
Yeah, choose between lesser two evils.
Well, let me tell you, Trump was a lesser evil when it came to Hillary Clinton.
And you're starting to see people say that, like, damn, they said everything is worse. What's going on?
And seems like Trump was a lesser evil when it came to Joe Biden.
Yeah, what you said it.
No, I said Hillary Clinton.
Oh, well, yeah, that's why she didn't get in. She didn't have a shot. Hillary was never getting in.
I'm telling you, you have a lot of black people that saying, I ain't voting no more. They saying Biden ain't doing shit.
Ain't doing shit. But with this whole Ice Cube situation, they expect black people to just vote without asking for anything. And for the most part, they get that. Most of the time for the last half
Not anymore.
Black people really don't ask for much. They just move along.
I don't think that's going to happen no more.
But now, Ice Cube is under another level of pressure. As you can see here, Ice Cube exits Oh Hell No comedy after turning down COVID-19 vaccine. Rapper actor was cast as star alongside Jack Black and make $9 million for the role in Hawaii set film.
Oh yeah, in Hawaii you have to be vaccinated.
So he decided, I don't want it. Ice Cube has exited his co-starring role in the upcoming comedy Oh Hell No after declining the producer's request to get COVID-19 vaccination. Per Hollywood Reporter, the rapper, who was cast to star alongside Jack Black in a Sony-produced comedy back in June, when producers made a request to all cast and crew that they be vaccinated ahead of Hawaii set shoot this winter. Ice Cube refused. Sources told THR that the rapper actor walking away from $9 million payday.
Oh, that tells you, well, damn.
Yeah, he really don't want it.
He really don't want it.
A representative,
they go get Kevin Hart.
Yeah. A representative for Ice Cube did not respond to Rolling Stone request for comment at press time. Both Sony and Cube's talent agency declined to comment on Hollywood Reporter. While Ice Cube has not commented publicly about the COVID-19 vaccination, he has advocated strongly for masking during COVID-19 pandemic and social media, even released a line of Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself t-shirts, featuring iconic images of the rapper wearing a face mask to raise funds for frontline healthcare workers. Ice Cube also donated 2,000 face masks to an Oklahoma college this past August and was frequently photographed wearing face masks during his Big 3 basketball tournament. So he's pro-mask, no pro-mandate.
Which a lot of people don't have a problem. We used to the mask.
Just getting over it now.
Mask is done,
People got over it.
The mask, we'll do it.
Yeah. So now they coming after him for that. People are actually mad with him. Now, he didn't make no fuss. He just, I'm good, I don't want it. And people still found a way to make him a bad guy in the situation. They're mad at him for making a personal decision. He's willing to give up $9 million and you mad.
Yep.
But look at this right here. This is the Congressional Black Caucus. The CBC is meeting. We are discussing both bills being Biden's Build Back Better bill and the infrastructure bill. We are united in our support for black families, children, and elders. Our priority is protecting the children we are elected to represent. And the comment section, they just kept referencing that 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
All the responses almost for the 400,000. Look at this. That had people hot, didn't it?
Yeah. When I saw it, I was hot. I was like, what the hell?
Everybody quote tweeting. That's all people talking about. That 400K. So, the Congressional Black Caucus. If you go to the Congressional Black Caucus's webpage, on their Twitter, this is what they released. They did a poll where they asked people, Which legislative priority of the Congressional Black Caucus do you want to hear more about and remain the most important to you?
Reparations.
57% said reparations.
I don't know why they said voting rights.
Nobody. Now, keep in mind, Biden's infrastructure bill, that means it's very low on the totem pole for Black Americans.
And George Floyd.
Now, only 5,000 people did this right here. But the point of the matter is, that was very low. Infrastructure was very low in people's priority. The George Floyd Policing Act, that was pretty low too. Now, voting rights, I don't know how. I don't know what they got to
really have manipulated Black people into believing that.
Now hold on, we know there's games they play. We know that in certain Black neighborhoods they'll have less places to go vote, so the lines will be longer, so you got to stand around longer. While in other neighborhoods
they have mail-in voting ballots now. So
I'm just saying that is a fact.
Then if you really want to vote, stand there and wait.
In Black neighborhoods, they make the line longer on purpose, while in other neighborhoods, you can get in, get out quicker. But it's still noticeable how much of a gap it is between the number one option,
which is reparations.
But they still talking about the other stuff that they constantly bring up, which is for some reason, the Congressional Black Caucus love talking about Hispanics. They love talking about rights that has nothing to do with Black Americans. They even went as far, if you go to the actual page. Hold on, let me go here.
Yeah. I got it. Pull it up for the asses.
Yeah, Travis, pull this up. We talked about this before. The About page on the CBC's page. Look at this. Since its establishment in 1971, the Congressional Black Caucus has been committed to using the full constitutional power, statutory authority, and financial resources of the federal government to ensure that African Americans and other marginalized communities in the United States have an opportunity to achieve the American dream.
Now, what would be classified as marginalized communities?
Anybody that's not white.
Exactly. Now go to the damn Hispanic.
Let's see what this one.
Oh, that's go to the Asian.
All right, this is the Asian one. This would be somebody who considered marginalized at this point, because Asian people, with the help of that anti-Asian hate situation, they found a way to turn themselves into a real minority now.
Yeah.
They now are a true minority. They're not considered, because Asian people, they are a minority in America, but they were never treated like that politically, because that's why they don't vote.
Yeah.
They have a pact and all this stuff. I don't know why it's not loading.
It's the first.
This is theirs. The Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus is comprised of members of Congress of Asian and Pacific Island descent and members who have a strong dedication to promoting the well-being of Asian American and Pacific Islander communities.
That's it. Next one, Hispanic. That's it.
This is the Hispanic. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus was founded on December 1976 as a legislative service organization of the United States House of Representatives. Today, the CHC is organized as a congressional member organization governed by the rules of the U.S. House of Representatives. The CHC addresses national and international issues and crafts policies that impact the Hispanic community. The function of the caucus is to serve as a forum for the Hispanic members of the Congress to coalesce around the collective legislation agenda. The caucus is dedicated to voicing and advancing through the legislative process issues affecting Hispanics in the United States, Puerto Rico, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands.
That's it. Last one, Native Americans.
They just got hugged about itself. I'm surprised they didn't have Elizabeth Warren up there. The Congressional Native American Caucus is a bipartisan coalition of lawmakers that work to advance our nation-to-nation relationship with tribal governments and uphold our federal trust responsibility to Native Americans through the legislative process. The caucus works as a bipartisan basis to meet our nation's moral and legal commitments to American Indians, Alaskan Natives, and Native Hawaiians across the broad range of policy areas, including but not limited to health, safety, housing, education, economic development, and cultural preservation.
That's it. None of the rest of them had marginalized communities. They focused on
their own
people. But Black people, y'all fucking dummies. You focus on everything else besides your own people. I'm tired of this black and brown shit. And I complain about it in every fucking video.
You want to put the rent ready?
I'm tired of this fucking shit. It's like, it's ridiculous. Why we keep talking about black and brown? Fucking Black News Channel. Well, they got Latino population pays bigger price. Why are you caring about the Latino population? You're supposed to be a Black News Network channel. I don't get it. What is wrong with us? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let it go. Every time we talk about it, I'm sure I'm gonna talk about it. I'm tired of this shit.
Let's talk about this now. Speaking of Hispanic.
Speaking of a brown, supposed to be brown.